You know, we've all been there. Standing in the grocery aisle, reaching for that sugar-free snack or drink. And you feel pretty good about it, right? Like you're making the healthier choice. But what if that label is hiding something? What if it's all just a sweet deception?
Yeah, that diet soda you grabbed, or that protein bar you thought was a guilt-free treat? Well, some really interesting new science is starting to call that whole idea into question. And honestly, what these researchers have found might completely change how you look at that sugar-free label forever.
For years, the story has been super simple, almost like a comic book. You've got sugar, the obvious bad guy, and then sugar-free alternatives swoop in to save the day. It's a belief that has shaped how we eat for decades. But what if the real story is, well, a lot more complicated? Let's dive into the science.
So this new research zeroes in on one particular sugar substitute, and it uncovers this really shocking connection to fructose, which is kind of ironic, right? Because that's the very thing most of us are trying to avoid in the first place.
Okay, so the compound at the heart of all this is called sorbitol. It's a type of sugar alcohol, and I guarantee you've had it, probably without even realizing it. It's in all sorts of stuff, from sugar-free gum and candy to those low-cal snacks. It's even found naturally in fruits like peaches and apples. It is pretty much everywhere. Now, listen to this quote from the lead researcher. He says sorbitol is, and I quote, "one transformation away from fructose." Just let that sink in for a second. This sweetener we all thought was totally harmless is basically a stone's throw away from becoming the exact kind of sugar we're told to watch out for. So how in the world does a sugar substitute end up acting just like real sugar inside our bodies? Well, researchers have uncovered this sort of hidden biological pathway. Let's trace the journey step by step.
So here's how it works. After you eat a meal, your gut can actually take glucose and turn it into sorbitol. Then, that sorbitol takes a trip straight to your liver. And this is the real kicker. Your liver can easily convert that sorbitol directly into fructose. It's like this secret backdoor for fructose that we never even knew was there. And here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. It means that whether you eat sorbitol directly in a sugar-free product or your own body makes it from the glucose you ate, you could be setting off the exact same damaging process in your liver as if you'd just eaten regular old sugar. That sugar-free label, it offers zero protection here.
And this is a really big deal. We know that high fructose intake is a major driver of fatty liver disease, a condition that already affects a staggering 30% of adults across the globe. This new research draws a pretty direct line from a common sweetener to a massive global health issue.
But okay, it's not all doom and gloom. Our bodies are incredibly smart. It turns out we have a built-in defense system to handle this, and it's located in a place that's getting a lot of attention lately, our gut.
It all comes down to your gut bacteria. What the scientists found is that certain microbes living in your intestines can actually intercept the sorbitol. They basically gobble it up and turn it into harmless stuff, neutralizing the threat before it even gets a chance to reach your liver.
You can almost think of these good bacteria as your liver's personal bodyguards. If you have a healthy community of them, they can handle a reasonable amount of sorbitol, protecting your liver from that hidden fructose pathway. But what happens when those bodyguards get completely overwhelmed? Because, like any defense system, this one has its limits. So imagine your gut bacteria have a certain capacity for dealing with sorbitol. A small amount, like what you'd get from eating a peach, is no problem at all. They've got it covered. But when you start to flood the system with way too much, the excess sorbitol just slips right past those defenses and continues on its way to the liver.
And there are two main ways we can overload the system. One is by eating a ton of glucose, which our body then turns into too much sorbitol for the bacteria to handle. The other way is just by consuming high levels of sorbitol directly from all those processed foods and sweeteners. Either way, the end result is the same. Your defenses are breached.
So this kind of information really forces us to take a step back and rethink the choices we make every single day. That clear line we thought existed between healthy and unhealthy, well, it's starting to look a whole lot blurrier.
For a long time, sugar substitutes have been marketed as a kind of free lunch. You get all the sweetness with none of the metabolic consequences. But what this new science is reminding us, pretty powerfully, is that in biology, there's rarely, if ever, such a thing as a free lunch.
And that brings us right back to the lead researcher's really powerful conclusion. There is no free lunch when it comes to sugar alternatives. It just perfectly sums up this complex truth that trying to trick our bodies with these substitutes can sometimes backfire in ways we never expected.
So what does this all mean for you and me? It's not about demonizing one single ingredient. It's about understanding the complexity of it all. If that easy sugar-free swap isn't the simple fix we all hoped it was, what's the right approach to the sweet things in life? What's the right balance for our health? Honestly, that's the real question we're left with.